Okay guys, so today we're discussing something of somewhat a different nature than you might be used to seeing with these little videos that I do. Unfortunately, we're going to be discussing tragic times. In fact, we are coming upon the saddest, most tragic dates of the Jewish calendar. To be more precise, it is a 3-week period starting on the Jewish date of the 17th of Tammuz and ending 3 weeks later on the 9th day of the Jewish month of Av. This 3-week period is otherwise known as, get this, are you ready? The 3 weeks. Yup. Walk into any Orthodox Jewish community of any denomination and just say the 3 weeks and we'll know exactly what you're talking about. So the beginning of this very tragic 3-week period starts on the 17th day of Tammuz, otherwise known in Hebrew as Shiva Asa B'Tammuz. And it is customary to fast, as in not eating, in observance of this very sad and tragic day. On the Gregorian calendar, that falls out this year on Sunday, June 27th. Historically, 5 major things happened on this day. Moses broke the first set of the 2 tablets on Mount Sinai, on which the 10 commandments were inscribed. The daily Tamid sacrifice offerings ceased to be brought in the Holy Temple. During the Roman siege of Jerusalem, the city walls were breached, ultimately leading to the destruction of the temple. Prior to the Bar Kokhba revolt, the Roman general Epostamus burnt a holy Torah scroll, and an idol was erected in the temple. Now, to fully understand this, you should really hook up with the Jewish class or something, because there are hours and hours of information and content to unravel here. Or you could just buy this book. Very insightful. But for the sake of brevity and my marketing skills here, I will try to give you a little bit of context here for some of the things on that list. So for no particular reason, let's start with the Holy Temple and our traditional beliefs around it. Maimonides states, "It is incumbent upon us to anticipate the coming of the Messiah every day of our lives, where there will be eternal peace, when the wolf will lie with the lamb. We will beat our weapons into plowshares, and the third and final temple will be built, and God will rest his countenance here on earth. Amen." Notice I said the third temple. Well, there already have been 2 of them that were built and destroyed. Typically, the way that works is the Jewish people behave themselves and they serve God with purity. So we merit to have the temple built, during which we experience political, economic, and religious freedom and prosperity. Then what happened was we misbehaved, and God destroyed the Holy Temple at the hand of our enemies and sent us into exile. But that already happened twice. Hence the first and second temple. Now, to mention some of the 5 things on the list, Moses destroyed the first set of the 2 tablets on this very sad day of the 17th of Tammuz. Moses goes up the mountain to get the 10 commandments and tells the people, "I'll be right back. Don't do anything stupid." He tells the people he'll be back in 40 days. Anyway, someone, I'm not going to say who, miscalculated the 40 days by 1 tiny day. So when the people saw that Moses was not coming back and thought that he died, they decided to worship a foreign god in the form of a golden calf idol, made from gold in the form of a baby cow, for some reason. Big no-no. Mind you, this is after 10 miraculous plagues in Egypt and the splitting of the sea and the destruction of the Egyptian world empire. And for some reason, the people still not fully believe in God. For some reason. So Moses does come back a few hours later, sees what's going on, and immediately smashes the tablets on the golden calf, breaking up the party. Anyway, it was pretty bad. Lots of people were killed because of it, and needless to say, God and Moses were pretty disappointed. We blew that pretty good, so it's a pretty sad day in Jewish history. For more on the Exodus, check out my previous video on Passover. Another thing on the list that happened was the wall of Jerusalem was breached. This actually happened twice during the time of both temples. That being as follows. The first temple period was 1200 BCE to 586 BCE, and the second temple period was 586 BCE to 63 BCE. We were counting backwards for some reason. See, the beautiful city of Jerusalem in which the temple stands is surrounded by a stone wall. During the time of the temple, when the people misbehaved and God's wrath burned and he decided his countenance can no longer rest upon the people here on earth, he sent our enemies upon us. They laid siege on the city, cutting off all supplies, thus weakening and starving its inhabitants and ultimately taking over. On this day of the 17th of Tammuz, the walls were breached and the enemies entered the city. What happened from there for the next 3 weeks was a bloodbath, which ultimately ended in the burning and the destruction of a structure described by ancient scribes. If you have not seen its beauty, you have not seen beauty in all your life. The Jewish Temple of Jerusalem, God's home here on earth. In commemoration of these tragedies, it is customary to conduct ourselves in a state of mourning. We do not cut our hair, listen to music, or otherwise indulge in luxury. Parenthetically, however, God's love for his people is yet more than we can even know. It knows no bounds. And although God can be punishing, he punishes with his attribute of kindness. He may push us away, but he does it with his right hand, and the right hand represents kindness. This is demonstrated by the fact that he destroyed both temples during the summer months, where the weather is warm. The Jewish captives would be chained and made to march miles and miles from their homes into exile, and God chose the summer months to do this. whereas had it been the winter, many would have died from the cold and frost alone. I'm wishing you all well and deep and meaningful experiences as we embark on these 3 weeks, with still much optimism for the good days to come. May we merit to see the third temple in all its glory speedily in our days. Amen.